Okay, so next up we're talking about unit vectors. The thing about unit vectors is, so it says a vector u, so normally unit vector is represented by a vector with u. So the length or the magnitude of the vector is equal to 1. So unit vectors always have a magnitude of 1. So if you were to find the magnitude using the square root of a squared plus b squared, it would always be 1. So if v is not the 0 vector, then the formula that you're going to use is u, which is for unit vector, is the vector over the magnitude of the vector. Okay, and this is the form I like to look at it in. So all this means that you're going to do is you're going to write the original vector on top, and then over the original vector, you're going to put the magnitude. And you're going to do that for the x and for the y coordinates of your vector. And that will give you your unit vector, okay? So it's really not that bad. So for the example, the vector that we're working with is -3, 2, and they want us to write the unit vector. So what you want to do first is you need to find the magnitude of your vector. So to find the magnitude, we use our square roots of a squared plus b squared. So that'll give us the square root of 9 plus 4, so the square root of 13. And then to actually write your unit vector, you're going to write your original vector. So the original vector was -3, 2, but underneath the -3 and the 2, you're going to put what your magnitude is. So this right here is your unit vector u. So that's all it is. For the unit vector, you just write the original vector, but underneath each part, you write the magnitude. So remember, the whole purpose of a unit vector is so that it has a magnitude of 1. So then it wants us to just verify. So now I'm going to find the magnitude of this, and let's make sure it's 1. So if I was to find the magnitude of this unit vector, you would have -3 over the square root of 13 squared plus 2 over the square root of 13 squared. So -3 squared would be 9, square root of 13 squared would just be 13. 2 squared would be 4, square root of 13 squared would just be 13. If we add those fractions together, 9 plus 4 is 13. So the square root of 1 is just 1, which is what a unit vector is supposed to be. So once again, all a unit vector is you're going to take your original vector, and underneath each part you're going to write what the magnitude is, and that will turn it into a unit vector, which will have a magnitude of 1. Okay, next is standard unit vector. So this is just a different way to write the problem. Once again, if you take physics, you will go way more into what these standard unit vectors mean, but for pre-cal, really all you need to know is just a different way to write. So, a lot of times for a vector, and all the ways we've been writing it, is we've been doing A, B, okay, with the less than and greater than sign around it. A different way that it can be written is with I and J. So this is the same thing as writing I, or A, with the unit vector I beside of it, plus b with the unit vector j beside of it. Now, a couple things to notice. If you look on here on the actual slide, I didn't put the vector on top of I and j. So these are actually in bold, and if they can write it in bold, you don't have to write the vector. Being in bold represents the vector. But because I can't do bold on here, that's why I put my vectors there. So this is the same thing, okay? So let me just give you examples on here. So if I said 2, 4 was my vector, this is the same thing as saying 2 vector I plus 4 vector j. Okay, the reason behind this is because I represents the vector 1, 0. So if you were to write this, this represents only the x part because the y part is 0. And then the vector j represents 0, 1, so it represents only the y part because the x part is 0. Okay, these are called standard unit vectors. You really just need to be able to recognize and to write these, know that these mean the same thing, and that you could write it either way. Okay. So looking at the examples that they have here, for the first example, we want to write u and v in terms of standard unit vectors. So right now, u is 5, -2. Okay, that is a vector. If we want to write it with standard unit vectors, it's just going to be 5i minus 2j. Okay, and then if we want to do the same thing for v, v is the vector negative 6, 3. So that would be negative 6 vector I plus 3 vector j. So that's how you rewrite those in the standard unit vectors. So then for this second example, we want to write 3u minus 2v in standard unit vectors. So we're going back to the resultant vectors with the adding and subtracting and the scalar multiplication. So let's just do it the regular way first. So 3u is 5, negative 2, minus 2, and v is negative 6, 3. So remember, for scalar multiplication, if you have the number out front, you can just multiply it in. This will be 15, negative 6. Also remember, I like to change this to addition and make it negative 2. That way I can make this plus and I can distribute in a negative 2. So that would make this positive 12 and negative 6. So now I can add these two vectors together. So 15 plus 12 will give me 27. Negative 6 plus negative 6 will give me negative 12. Now that answer is correct, but it wanted it in standard unit vectors, so we're going to rewrite it as 27 vector I minus 12 vector j. So once again, it's just another way to write a vector. Instead of the normal vector form, it's called the standard unit vector. Alright, so next we are looking at resolving the vector. So this is where it's going to bring back in our unit circle, which we will be getting back to. So if it asks you to do your components of a vector, okay, so most of the time it'll say write it in components. So components of a vector, to write the vector with components, you're going to do the magnitude of the vector, and then its cosine theta, comma, the magnitude of the vector sine theta. So where does this come from? Magnitude represents the length, okay, the length of the vector. Cosine goes with your x value, sine goes with your y value. So on your unit circle, remember, cosine goes with the x, sine goes with the y. So that is where that comes from. So if you're looking at this picture over here, so magnitude tells you how long the vector is. Cosine would be coming from the x part, whereas sine would be coming from the y part. So if they say, like it'll say, find the components of the vector, you need the magnitude, and this theta is called your directional angle. So they'll refer to it as your directional angle, or your direction angle. Okay, so let's take a look at the example here. We want to find the components of the vector v that has a magnitude of 6, and the direction angle is 115. Okay, so if we write this as a vector, it's going to be the magnitude, and then x is cosine, so cosine of 115 degrees, comma, then it's the magnitude, and it's sine 115 degrees. Now, I know some of you do not have a calculator at home, so if you do not have a calculator at home, this answer is perfectly fine. But if you did have a calculator, I want to show you how that would work here. First thing, because we're working with 115 degrees, you need to put your mode in degrees. Change that. And then you're just going to type this in. So we have 6 cosine 115. So that'll give us negative 2.536. And then we have 6 sine of 115. And that's 5.438. So either one of these answers is perfectly fine. Just know, if you do not have a calculator, do not stress about it. You do not need one. You can just leave your answer like this. You can't use the unit circle because 115 is not on your unit circle, but you can refer to your calculator. Okay, so for the next one, we have the vector u. Now, just because it says vector u does not mean it's the unit vector. If it is a unit vector, it will tell you that it's the unit vector. So this is just a vector u, and it's the vector negative 2, 5. We want to find its magnitude, and we want to find its direction angle. Okay, so magnitude means we're just finding how long it is. So we're going to be doing the square root of 2 squared plus negative 5 squared, which will give us the square root of 4 plus 25 to the square root of 29. Okay, so that's not anything new. Now, to get your direction angle, we have to use some information that we learned last unit. So to get the direction angle, because we know this one goes with cosine and this one goes with sine, we're going to be using the formula tangent theta equals sine over cosine. Okay, sine, remember, goes with your y value, cosine goes with your x value. So we know tangent theta equals sine will be our y value here, which is negative 5. Cosine will be our x value here, which is 2. Okay. Now we are going to use the calculator here. If you don't have a calculator, when you get like on quizzes and stuff I give you, it'll be okay. If you don't have one, then just follow along here so when you see like what I'm doing on the work, you know what I'm doing. So this is tangent equals negative 5 over 2. So once again, we need to make sure we're in the mode degrees, which I already am. So I'm going to do second tangent at negative 5 over 2. So in the calculator, it should look like tangent to the negative 1, negative 5 over 2. And it should give you negative 68.199. Okay, and that is in degrees. Alright, so here's the thing about the direction angle. You have to draw a picture. Anytime you do this tangent, you're going to have to draw a picture. If I was to graph point 2, negative 5, I would go over 2, and I would go down negative 5. So this is where my vector really is. Okay. Anytime you get tangent off of the calculator, it always gives you the angle from the x-axis. So because I'm in this quadrant, this angle they gave me was the 68.199. Now I'm not putting the negative with it. The reason it's negative is because it's going backwards from the x-axis. So once again, anytime you use the calculator with tangent, when they give you your answer, you have to graph which quadrant it is depending on if it's positive or negative here. And then it always comes from the x-axis. Now the answer, or the problem that I want, is I want like a unit circle direction angle. So remember the unit circle goes counterclockwise, and it would be this angle that I'm talking about. So I need to figure out what this green angle is. So really this is the entire unit circle except for 68.199. So I need to do 360 minus 68.199. And if I subtract that, that will give me 291.801 degrees. And that is the angle, the direction angle that I want to use. Okay? So once again, let me reiterate this. When you're doing the direction angle, you have to draw a picture. Okay? For your picture, you need to see what quadrant that your graph is going to be in, depending on positive or negatives here. The answer you get on the calculator always comes from the x-axis. Okay, but you always want the answer coming from counterclockwise, so you may have to do some adding or subtracting to get your final answer.